everyone, it's Annie Clarke here, and I'm so pleased to be rounding off the Women's Health live virtual weekend with this 45-minute yoga flow. So you really don't need very much at all for this practice. If you can find enough space that you can lie down, that would be amazing. If you've got a yoga mat or an exercise mat, great. If you don't have those things, then just find something, a blanket, a towel, so that you've got the option to pad underneath your knees or lie down on something a little bit more comfortable. I've also got a block and a strap. Don't worry if you don't have these. You can find things around your house like a book or a dressing gown strap or belt or whatever you can get your hands on, maybe even just a cushion or a pillow. Grab what you need and then we'll meet together sitting on your mat. And don't worry if you can't find any of those things, we can adjust everything the whole way through. So you really don't need much at all. Let's meet on the mat. We're going to find a comfortable seat, and if you do have something that you can prop your hips on, it's nice to sit with the hips above the knees. For a lot of us, that makes sitting cross-legged more comfortable. If the tops of the feet are uncomfortable against the ground, then you can pad under there as well. And then find a nice long spine. Think as though the front of the throat is moving towards the back of the throat, and that just opens up the back of the neck and helps us to lengthen the spine. And we're going to come to a comfortable seat and begin to close down the eyes. And as you close down the eyes, the chances are the eyelids will start to flicker. And don't worry if you feel a little bit distracted. We're going to use the breath to start anchoring in and find a place of focus within our practice. But over the course of the next 40-45 minutes, the chances are your mind, your eyes will get distracted by all of the kind of stimulus around us. Don't worry, don't try to fight it, just let it be part of your practice. The true experience of the practice is when we're tested, whether that's sort of on the mat or in our everyday lives. That quietness, that stillness that we seek in our yoga practice is really put to the test when the world around us is moving at 100 miles an hour. And while at the moment it feels like everything has slowed down a lot, there's still a huge amount going on. Lots of information and news, social media, all these things kind of flashing at us all the time. And so it's incredibly powerful at this time to come back to practices that help us find stillness, to find a sense of peace and anchoring and grounding at a time which can sometimes feel a little bit anxious or uncomfortable. And a really great place to start is with a very simple pattern of breath. So just begin noticing the inhale as it draws in and the exhale as it draws out. And we start to just become a witness of our own breath, as though we think to ourselves that when we're breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And when I'm breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Really simple. Just I notice that this is my inhale. I notice that this is my exhale. I'm not trying to change anything, shift anything, do anything differently. I'm just breathing. And the hands can rest wherever it feels comfortable. Notice if you start to slouch. See if you can really root through the sitting bones, lengthen the back of the neck, and just breathe. Notice how different the inhale is to the exhale. Is one longer, more lengthy, softer, stronger? What can you notice? And with that noticing, can you perhaps now start to equalize the length and the strength of the inhalation and the exhalation? And let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And open your mouth, let it go, big sigh. Twice more, inhale. And then gently bringing the lips to close, and as long as you can do so, breathe in and out gently through the nose. Next time you breathe in, start to walk the left fingertips along the mat. You're going to reach up and over with the right hand. Now just observe, if you're sitting on something, you might find that now's a good time to take it from underneath you so you can feel that right sitting bone rooting down to the earth. In fact, I'll mirror you, so we'll go, right arm up and over. Good, lifting the chest forward. Keep the right sitting bone grounding down to the earth. And then inhale, come up through the center. Walking the right hand down the mat or down the length of the space to your side and reaching over with the left arm. There's a tendency for some of us to kind of round and bring that left shoulder down. See if you can lift your chest, open up through the front of the body. And then place the hand back down onto the floor. You're going to interlace the hands behind your back and open up through the chest. So roll your shoulder blades together down the back of the body. Good. Maybe have a little roll of the ear to the shoulder and back the other way. And then release the hands from behind the back. You're going to sweep them all the way around in front of you. Interlace the fingers and push the backs of the hands away as you separate the shoulder blades in the back of the body. So here there's a gentle tuck of the tailbone. Separate the shoulder blades, especially if you've been sitting at the desk or the kitchen table all week. This is a nice way to kind of mobilize through the upper back. So you're going to inhale, sweep the arms around behind you, interlace the fingers, open up the chest, and exhale round all the way. Interlace the fingers in front of you, push away. So nice long breath, inhale. Lift up out of the waist, interlace the fingers, broaden through the collarbones, and exhale to round, tuck the tailbone, big scoop, reach the arms around in front of you, push the backs of the hands away. And then release the hands down in front of you, roll over the knees, and we're going to push back to a child's pose. So maybe you walk yourself back on your mat. Widen your knees at least as wide as your hips, and send your hips to your heels. And notice the breath here, the way that the breath draws in and out of the body, expanding through the backs of the ribs. Maybe the head is down onto the floor. Perhaps you place your block underneath the forehead just to bring that ground a little bit closer, this sense of connection to the earth beneath you. Good, and then inhale, come all the way up onto a tabletop. If the knees are wide, narrow them to the width of the hips now. And we'll take a little cat-cow. So as you inhale, start to send your chest forward, lift your sitting bones up. And as you exhale, push the ground away with the hands, tuck the tailbone and gaze to your navel. So inhale, sliding the chest forward, shoulder blades down the back of the body. And exhale, round through the spine, gather in from underneath you, push the ground away. And you can continue like that, or you can start to find a little bit more freedom in your movement. Maybe you flex from side to side, whatever feels good. You don't have to keep the arms straight, your hips can come forwards and back. Whatever feels right in your body, do that. So just finding a little bit of movement through the spine, and then come back onto your all fours. With your next breath, tuck your left toes behind you and then push through the right heel, sending the leg into the space. So keeping two hips square, hug in through the navel. You're going to bend up the knee and send the heel to the sky. You're going to pulse the leg once, twice, 3 times, and then turn that knee to the side and make a big semicircle. Try to tap the knee to the right elbow. Good. Take an inhale, send it back. So we're on sort of 3-point tabletop. And then you're going to take the big circle out with a straight leg if you can. See if you can step the foot all the way to the outside of the right hand and then ground down through that foot and bend the knee. Good. Doesn't matter which direction the toes are pointing here. We're just going to start to make big outward circles with the right hip. Good. And then root down through the left hand, hug that left shoulder blade underneath you. You're going to reach your right arm up to the sky. And exhale, sweep it underneath the left arm, maybe tap the left side of the body. Head hangs heavy, inhale, reaching up, open up through the chest, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Good, now inhale, reach that right arm up, heel toe the right foot in just a touch. And this is where you might want a little bit of padding underneath the left knee. You're going to pick up the back foot and reach for the foot. Now if you can't reach the foot, you could reach your leggings, or you could use the strap and loop it around your foot instead. Good. So we're pushing down through the right foot. We're opening up through the chest, starting to gaze over your right shoulder. And then release that back foot, tuck the left toes, and keep your right arm reaching back. Then push down through the feet and bring your torso up so we're in a T shape. Maybe you heel toe that right foot in just a touch. And you can choose, you can be here just opening up through the chest, or you could wrap that right arm around behind you and lift the left arm up and over, getting a stretch through the front of the left hip. Good. Take a breath in, lift up out of the waist. As you exhale, release the hands down, and that right foot is going to come back. We're in our tabletop position. Good, let's take a cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, rounding through the lower back. Come back to neutral. Push down through the hands, tuck your right toes, and extend the left leg out behind you. So you're really using your glutes and your hamstring, keeping the two hips square. Drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Bend your knee, heel to the sky. Repulse it once, twice, 3 times. Then turn that knee out and tap the knee, big semicircle, tap the knee to the outside of the left arm. And then take it all the way back, extend the leg out. With a straight leg this time, we take the leg out to the side and place it down onto the ground on the outside of the left foot. And then we come into our sort of lizard lunge here. We're going to take outward circles, so counterclockwise circles with the left hip. Just a few of those, just to bring a little bit of space into the hip. Maybe you feel it in the hamstring, the glutes, different for everyone, depends where we have tightness. Then place that right hand down, really gather underneath here, so you're scooping up as you reach the left hand to the sky. Exhale, we sweep it under, maybe tap the outside of the body. Inhale and exhale. Good, one more time, inhale and exhale. This time as you inhale, reach up, maybe heel toe that left foot in slightly. You're going to reach all the way around, catching hold of the foot behind you. Now both shoulders draw together down the back of the body. You're gazing up over the left shoulder. The right hand can be on the floor or on a block. Whatever works for you, just work within the space you have in your body. There's no need to force anything. And then as you release that back foot, lengthen the left arm back, right toes tuck, and you reach up to that T shape. So you're opening up, squeeze the inner thighs together. Maybe the left hand wraps around the right side of the body. So you reach the right arm up and over and get that stretch through the length of the right side. Take a breath in. And exhale, landing both hands onto the floor. Bring that left knee back to a tabletop. Take an inhale, look up, lengthen out of the waist. Exhale, round through the spine, gaze to navel. Now tuck the toes behind you, start to walk your hands towards your knees and shift your weight back into your heels. So we're in a little squat. Now maybe the heels stay lifted, or maybe you place them onto the floor, but we're going to find that rotation in the upper back again. So the left hand comes down as you reach your right arm up to the sky, and then exhale, the hand comes down to the ground and the left arm reaches up. And we just alternate between these two with the breath. So the inhale is length, we open up through the upper back, and exhale, release it down. Inhale and exhale. One more on each side. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. Good. Both hands onto the floor. Shift the weight into the feet and slowly roll up the spine, stacking the bones. Send your knees forward, your hips forward. Reach your arms up over your head. Gaze up to your thumbs. And exhale, bring the thumbs through the midline of the body. Close down the eyes. And take a moment here to pause. Breathe. Notice how it feels. The vibrations within the body. Sensations within the body. And then as you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, slowly fold all the way down. We're going to walk the hands forward to a downward facing dog. So keep the hips lifted up behind you. Knees stay bent. Root down through the hands, lengthen the fingers to the earth, and start to lift your sitting bones up and wide behind you. You're wrapping the outer arms in towards each other to create space and support through the upper back. We take a breath in here. And let it go, a big sigh. On an inhale, start to slowly peel forwards to a high plank. And then lower the knees to the floor. Bend your elbows as you send your chest forward and lower your torso all the way down. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, peel out of the lower back. And exhale, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Good, another nice deep breath in through the nose. And let it go. Good. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. Take an inhale and reach your right leg high. Exhale draws your knee to your nose. Move slowly. Good. Inhale, reach that leg up and back. And then bend the knee and open up the hips. So we stack the right hip over the left hip. Now, as we bring our shoulders over the wrists, we come forwards and tap the right upper arm with the right knee. Good. Inhale, sweep it all the way up and back. Raise the leg, take it straight. This time with a straight leg, come all the way around. Just be mindful of any art you've got on your walls. Push through the heel and place the foot down to the floor. Now ground down through that left hand, and we're going to inhale, bend the right knee and reach your right arm up. Good. Place the hand back down onto the floor. Let's lift that right leg all the way high behind us and step the foot between the palms at the top of the mat. Good, high lunge. So the hips are square, feet are hip width apart, and we reach the arms up. Now it isn't about how deep we can get into our lunge. Think much more about lengthening the space between the belly button and the pubic bone. Rooting down through the feet. The right hip draws back, and there's this spiraling action of the thigh. It pulls back into the hip socket. Good. Push through the back heel. Take a breath in, straighten the right leg, and as you exhale, begin to fold all the way forwards, extending the arms out in front of you. Keep using the muscles of the thigh to draw up, straighten that leg, and then rebend. Come back to your high lunge. Good, exhale here. And again, inhale, straighten the leg, reaching forwards, extend out of the waist. Good, rebend, and exhale back to a high lunge. One more time, inhale, straighten that leg, reaching forwards, extend out of the waist. Take an inhale, lifting up, and exhale, high lunge. Good. Take an inhale in, lift up out of the waistline, release your hands down, frame your foot. Step back to your high plank, and you can choose to move from high to low plank or lower the knees first as you bring your torso to the ground. Chest forward, long lower back, cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and let it go. 2 feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg rises, inhale. Exhale brings your knee to your nose. Inhale, raise the leg up. Bend the knee and open up your hip. Good, big circle out to the side. Shoulders over the wrists as you tap your knee to the left upper arm. Good, inhale, raise the leg up and back. Now with a straight leg, take it all the way around. Step the foot to the outside of the left hand. Bend your knee as you sweep the left arm up, open through the chest, and place that left hand down to the floor. That left leg comes all the way up and back behind us, straighten the leg, and then slowly step it between the palms at the top of the mat. If it doesn't go all the way through in one go, you can use a hand to help. Square the hips, hip width apart. We rise up, high lunge. Good. So lengthen through the lower back, reaching your arms up. Nice, good. So there's a little bend in the back knee to help lengthen the lower back, and then you extend through the back heel to really get that energy through the lower body. And it's like navel down is rooting us down, and then navel up is where we get this lift, this expansion. And from there you inhale, lengthen the left leg. Create space in the front of the left hip as you exhale and extend forwards. We'll stay here for a breath the first time. And then inhale, start to lift your torso. Exhale, bend the knee, high lunge. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale to fold. Good, inhale, lifting up. Keep the back of the neck long. Exhale, bending the knee. Last time, straighten your leg. Extend out of the waist. Oops, if it's wobbly, hug the inner thighs to the midline. Inhale, breath. Exhale, bend the front knee, high lunge. Take an inhale in, lift up. And then release the hands down to the floor. And take your vinyasa, so knees and chest or high to low plank. Keep the torso moving forwards, broaden the collarbones, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it go, a big sigh. Let the knees come down to the floor, nice and wide. Walk the hands in a little. Take a child's pose, let the hands rest back towards your feet. And just soften the body down. Soften the breath. Notice the shifting relationship to your breath. How does it feel to be here, to notice the inhale and the exhale as it moves through your body as we move through our practice together today? Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and open the mouth, let it go. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Shift your weight forwards, tuck your toes, and we'll come back into that squat at the back of the mat. So you can take the feet a little bit wider and stay in Savasana or Yogi squat, toes turned out. Back of the body is long, chest is broad. Or if you want to have a little play, you can start to shift the weight forwards into the hands. Now think about gathering up through the core as you send your knees to the backs of the arms. Maybe you rock forwards and float 1 or 2 feet away from the floor. Maybe not. Maybe we're just here today, shifting forwards and backwards. Maybe we're in our squat. And if you enjoyed this, then that's an option as well. Whatever feels good in your body, take cue from that. Let that be your greatest teacher. Listening in. Good. Wherever you are, we'll take another breath. And then if your feet are in the air, gently land them on the floor and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And open your mouth, letting it go. Good. Walk your feet a little bit closer towards your hands. Find a little bend in the knees and take your left hand to the outside of the right foot or ankle or calf, whatever you can reach. Keep grounding down through that right hand. Gaze under your right armpit. And then release. We'll swap over to the other side. Take a breath in. And then extend. So you can bend the knees and then start to lengthen through the heels, but most importantly, the spine stays long. Hugging in through the navel, lifting your two hips up, rotating through the upper back. And then release. Place that hand onto the floor. You're going to walk the hands in a little bit closer towards your feet. Walk your feet in towards your hands. And we'll slowly roll up the spine. And if you've got a strap, now's a good time to grab hold of it in one hand. You're going to push down through the feet. Start to roll up the spine, stacking each of the bones. Sweep the arms up alongside your ears. And then bring the thumbs through the midline of the body. Close down the eyes. Take a moment here to pause. Feel the soles of your feet against the earth. So really spread the surface of the feet down to the ground. You're somewhere in the middle of the mat, and your feet are just a little bit closer together than hip width. And then we're going to start to root down through the left foot, so much so that the right foot floats just a touch away from the floor. Both hands can be on the hips for now. And if you've got a strap, just hold it in your right hand. And then gather that right knee in towards your chest. You're going to start to lengthen that right leg out. Good. Then point your toe, and if there is space, with a straight leg, you're going to take a big semicircle all the way around until the leg is behind you. And then flex the foot, push through your heel. Good, hands stay on your hips. Good, lengthen the back of the neck, look down the tip of your nose. And as you inhale, push down through that left leg, bring the right knee forwards and in towards the chest, hug it in. Good. So we've got some options here. If you've got a strap, you're going to loop it around the ball of the right foot. Otherwise, maybe you could reach for your right toe. Then you take the strap in the right hand and start to lengthen the heel forwards. Good. Now, if the toe feels a long way away, you don't have a strap, you can just do this with the front knee bent. Or maybe you lengthen it a little bit, holding onto big toe with your two peace fingers, and just see how straight you can get the leg. If you're somewhere here, then that's great. Good. So whatever feels right for you today. Good. Now, whether you're holding the foot with your hand or with a strap, this left arm is going to come up by your left ear, and you're going to take hold of the outside of the foot, so we can bend the knee a little bit more if we need to. The right hand is going to reach up and over, opening up behind us. So maybe you do that with a bent leg, or maybe the leg is straight, you push through the heel, and we're opening up through the upper back, gazing over the right shoulder. Nice. Don't worry if it's wobbly, me too. Good. And then come back through the center, release your foot, place it down onto the floor, and fold all the way down. Good. Inhale, slowly rolling all the way up the body. Reach your arms up over your head. And bring the thumbs through the midline. Good. So root down through the feet again. This time the weight shifts to the right foot, and we energize down through the foot and then up through the body as you lift the left foot just a touch away from the floor to begin with. Hands are on the hips. We take a breath in, bring that left knee in, lengthening the tailbone down. Extend through the heel as you place that leg out in front of you, and then point the toes. Good. If you can bend the knee if there's not enough space. Otherwise, with a straight leg, sweep all the way around you until the leg is behind. Good. And then flex through the foot, push the heel away. Good, keep the chest lifted, hands stay on the hips. Long through the back of the neck. Push through that right leg. Bring the left knee in towards your chest. Good, hug it with the hands. Maybe you loop the strap around. Otherwise, right hand stays on the hip. We catch the big toe with the two peace fingers. When you lengthen that leg out, it doesn't matter if it's not totally straight. Think much more about that connection through the right foot. Good. Now this right hand, you reach up. You're going to take it over to the outside of the foot or the knee. As you extend through that left heel, we reach the left arm up and over until we're looking over the left shoulder. Breathe. Good. Try not to shift your weight forwards or backwards, staying tall through the crown of the head. And then inhale, come all the way back in. Reach both arms up, square the hips. Place the foot down and fold all the way down to the mat. This time from here, walk the hands a little bit further forwards. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat. Bring your hips down. We're in Malasana, our Yogi squat. We breathe. Good. Notice the beat of your heart, the flow of energy through the body. How does it feel to be here? If the mind is wandering, can you center it back down into the breath? Now push through the feet, lift your hips a touch and place your hands behind you. And very simply, just lower yourself down onto the floor. Extend the left leg out in front of you and hug that right knee in towards your chest. Bring the left arm around the outside of the right thigh. Place the right hand to the base of the spine, looking over your right shoulder for a spinal twist. It's just a gentle spinal twist. Push through your left heel. Good. And then as you unwind, come back to the center and drop that right knee out to the side. This right hand reaches up and over, push down through the hand, fingertips pointing away. Hug the shoulder blade underneath you, push into the right shin and lift up to little baby wild thing. Reach your left arm up and over. Good, and then use the exhale. Bring your hips down onto the floor. We're going to turn over this left leg and take a forward fold. Now again, if you've got a strap, this can be handy just to keep your chest forward. Think about all of that opening up across the front of the body that we've been doing in our practice. See if you can maintain that for this little moment here. Doesn't matter how deep you can fold. Think much more about lengthening through the lower back. Good. And take one more breath here. And then slowly lifting the chest up, we'll swap to the other side. So that left knee draws in, flex through the right heel as you straighten the leg. Hug the right arm around the left knee, scoop in through the navel, push the left hand down at the base of the spine to create length, and then the upper back twists into the space behind you. Nice, everyone. And then gently unwind that. Drop the left knee out to the side. The left hand stays behind you and you walk it a little bit further away. Gather from underneath the rib cage and use that to lift up to a little baby wild thing. Gentle back bend, hips are forward. Open up through the front of the body. Take a breath in. And exhale, lowering back down. And then we turn the body over the right leg for our forward fold. And breathe. Good. Think about the space in between the belly button and the pubic bone lengthening. And then gently walk the hands up. You're going to cross the legs, rolling over and come to a downward facing dog. Push through the hands, lifting the hips up and back. Take a nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. And inhale, raise your right leg high. Bending the knee, opening up the hip. Inhale, reach your leg high. And then take that shin to the top of the mat for pigeon pose. So take a moment to set up here. Keep the back knee lifted. Walk the hands in and make this active. So push through the left heel, lengthen through the lower back. And then lower the knee down, point the toes. Use that space you've created and fold all the way down. So if this is too tight, too uncomfortable, you could come onto your back and take a figure 4 stretch instead. Nice, everyone. See if you can let the back of the neck release. And soft through the body. And letting go bit by bit, breath by breath, of unnecessary physical effort. And then walk the hands up towards your knee. Tuck your back toes. And we're going to switch to the other side. So take that right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. In fact, if you want to take a full wild thing, you could step that foot behind now. Lift up from underneath the heart space. Reach your right arm over the head. And then place the foot down onto the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Bend the knee, open up your hips, stack the 2 hips. And then lengthen that leg up. Bring the shin to the top of the mat, stay active for a moment. Push through the back heel. Good, walk the hands in, lift up through the hips. Root down through the left shin, take a breath in. Lower the back knee, exhale, folding all the way down. Letting the breath slow a little. And then walk the hands back up towards you. You can either come straight to down dog or just let the left leg lift. Maybe open up into a wild thing, reaching from underneath the heart space. So let it be supported. Good. And then place the foot down onto the floor. Downward facing dog. Lower the knees to the earth. Hips to heels. Child's pose. So back where we began, just feeling the experience of the breath, this expansion and contraction. Notice if one breath is longer or more full than the other. Can you just come back to being in this equal length of breath? The inhale as long and as strong as the exhale. And then when you feel ready to do so, you walk your hands up towards your knees. You'll sweep the feet from underneath you. And you'll come to lie down on the back of the body. We'll land together in Savasana. If there's anything you need to take on the way down, then please feel free to add it in. Otherwise, let the feet rest apart on the mat, the hands away from the sides of the body. And for a moment, we still feel this lifting and lowering of the breath. This conscious decision to equalize the inhalation with the exhalation. And then slowly, breath by breath, we let go of all of the physical effort, all of the conscious awareness, and we let ourselves be held by the earth beneath us. And the breath lands back into its natural rhythm. You can stay here as long as you like. When you feel ready to do so, you'll gently start to bring movement back to the outer edges of the body, maybe the fingers and toes, perhaps taking a stretch of the arms over your head. Maybe gathering the knees up in towards your chest. And try to keep the eyes closed as you gently begin to make your way up to a comfortable seat. And maybe you take that block or cushion or whatever it is that you had beforehand and place it underneath the sitting bones. You let the front of the throat draw towards the back of the throat as we lengthen the spine. Let the sitting bones root down to the earth. The hands connect at the heart. And here we'll take a moment to acknowledge the efforts of our practice today. Not just as individuals, but together in community, so that the efforts and the energy of the practice is so much bigger than just the sum of the physical parts. Let's make an offer of our efforts and our gratitude and extend that out to the wider community, and perhaps the people that can't practice for themselves. Let's let our energy, our effort be a positive contribution, raising the vibration of the whole of the universe. And take a deep breath in and a big sigh to let it go. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining our practice today. Leave a comment below, let us know how you got on, and see you soon. Have a lovely evening.